As Jose Mourinho strolled towards the exit in the Grove's Ivory meeting room in May, he halted and, just short of the door, dropped his guard. "I'm gonna miss you. After tomorrow, 2 months," Mourinho remarked in reference to a period devoid of press conferences. "How will you cope?" a reporter asked. "I'll cope," Mourinho waspishly replied. The exchange was not broadcast, and it is a side to Mourinho that was witnessed rarely last season. Earlier during that briefing, he made this correspondent blush by cheerfully asking, "Do you already know our team?" England could have done with that carefree tact over Steve Holland's visible team sheet in Rapinoe. A moribund mood had permeated through United in recent months, and the levity was welcomed. In the bowels of the Wembley press conference room the following day, Mourinho stressed he was now on holidays. Managers, players, supporters and reporters' minds are on the beach in May after a 9-month campaign, and the reality was United's football was a slog for much of it. While Alexis Sanchez has not travelled on pre-season tour amid the World Cup fanfare, the mood has barely lifted at United. The start of pre-season is supposed to provide a new leaf, but many fans feel the chapter has extended and antipathy is lingering. United have bolstered their squad in the transfer window, but insufficiently so far, and the deadline is a mere 23 days away. The World Cup and the Premier League's early start, as well as its separate window closure, have had an adverse impact on the majority of the 20 clubs' business. United began working on at least 4 possible deals before the end of last term. The frustration among supporters is nevertheless intensifying, and the innocuous side of Ed Woodward at the Wimbledon men's final was regarded by some as akin to Donald Trump touching down at Turnberry. Last summer, Woodward was at Michael Carrick's testimonial and in New Zealand watching the British and Irish Lions. The Twitterati would have had him chained to a desk. Mourinho stopped United signing their dream centre-back. Mourinho also sounded an ominous note in his final punditry appearance for Russia Today. "We cannot start the Premier League with our players that were in the World Cup, which is a shame for the most important club competition in Europe," he lamented. 3 weeks holiday, which I think is the minimum that their body and soul needs, and which is the minimum for them to return and think about football again. To bring them back before that would be, "Okay, I have you for the first match of the season, but maybe I don't have you in 3 or 4 months." Woodward watched Novak Djokovic beat Kevin Anderson. Image, Tom Hamilton. Andre Schürrle, Chelsea's World Cup winner with Germany 4 years ago, had 5 weeks on a day to holiday, recover and prepare for their Monday night opener at Burnley, where he started. Paul Pogba's minimum holiday quota ends on the day of United's final friendly at Bayern Munich. Leicester is 5 days later. Given Nemanja Matic exited the World Cup on June 27 and David De Gea on July 1, United have enough backbone in their spine for Leicester's Friday night visit. Feasibly, Mourinho could field an 11 of De Gea, Antonio Valencia, Chris Smalling, Eric Bailly, Luke Shaw, Ander Herrera, Nemanja Matic, Andreas Pereira, Juan Mata, Alexis Sanchez, Anthony Martial. It could be worse. Bale's possible United transfer has one more hurdle, but it could also be better. Alex Sandro did not have any World Cup commitments, and neither did Gareth Bale. Willian's World Cup ended on July 6, an exit date exactly 5 weeks before United host Leicester. It is utterly unrealistic to think United would sign all 3, but their situations range from attainable to unsettled. The hold-up on Sandro seems self-inflicted, and with a bloated 30-man squad, the suspicion remains that United are having to sell before buying in certain areas. They do not have the luxury of being as patient as they were with Pogba while he Instagrammed from coast to coast in the United States 2 years ago, either. Mourinho has been careful to detach himself from negotiations, absolving himself of any blame while also magnanimously championing Woodward and Matthew Judge's work on deals. Woodward and Judge operate from different offices and regions rather than cobbling themselves together. United Tour Diary. A familiar face was already waiting for Mourinho in LA. Senior United sources stressed Alexis Sanchez was sorting his visa issue, and they remain hopeful he will eventually head out to the United States. Mourinho cannot legislate for Sanchez being denied entry to the country, but United knew how depleted their pre-season tour squad would be in a World Cup summer. On the long list of reputed defensive targets, Milan Skriniar, Alessio Romagnoli, and Caglar Soyuncu did not participate at the World Cup, and neither did Kieran Tierney, another left-back United scouted extensively. As irritating that it is for supporters whose summer happiness is dependent on signings, United are resisting panic buys and waiting on elite players in their remaining positions. They're coping. Get all the latest Manchester United news first with our new app. Download it here now.